Hello everyone. Today we will start with the fourth chapter named Economic Development. In this chapter we will discuss about the economic changes that happened in our country after the independence and what are the plans and goals are set by the government to fulfill the needs of the economy. Okay, also if you remember in last three chapters we had learned about the developmental and the changes that took in our country after the 1960. Our syllabus also based on the for the same period from 1960 to 2000. The first chapter was generally the sources of the history, which we already learned in 7th standard, 8th standard. When we come to the second chapter was like a trailer to our syllabus. In second chapter we had discussed about the important events that happened in the different decades. Okay, if you remember the second chapter, the events which we discussed in second chapter, we will discuss those events in detail in the coming chapters or in the next chapters. Like in third chapter we had discussed about the internal challenges, what are been the issues we are facing in our country, and still many of the issues are still there, and we are trying, or our government are trying to cope with that. So if we talk about the economic development in this chapter, we will discuss more about the economic type which we follow in our country, the mixed economy. We will discuss about the 5 year plans. Also we will discuss about the changes that government brought in the nationalization of bank, then the 20-point program, and also we will discuss about the workers issue. And our topic, the important topic, will be new economy policy after 1990. So there has been a lot change happened in our country's economy after the 1990. As we all know, 1990 was the important year not only for India, all over the world, because the Cold War ended. That gave an opportunity for the globalization, right? It gave opportunity for new businesses, new kind of innovations, correct? So what we are going to learn in this chapter? In this chapter we are going to study India's economy policy. That includes a study of the mixed economy, because in many country they have a kind of socialist economy, they have a kind of capitalist economy, but in our country we follow the best from both the economy. That's why it is called as a mixed economy. What is capitalist economy, what is socialist economy, we'll discuss in next topic. So we will learn about the mixed economy, about the 5 year plans and their successes and failure. After the independence, government had made a planning commission, and in view to make progress in the different field, government had set a goal to achieve those uh, things in the appropriate period of time. So for that they had fixed a 5 year plan, and we will discuss what are the different 5 year plans and what they function and how the things change in our country. Nationalization of bank, as we all know, previously all banks were run by the private individual, so profit goes directly to their pockets. Government won't able to get any kind of income from the bank, and we all know government needs money, government needs fund for their development process, for planning, right? We are also dependent on government for so many things, correct? Next is 20-point program. During the tenure of Indira Gandhi, our Prime Minister Indira Gandhi has suggested 20-point program. The important things that needs to be changed or that needs to be brought in application in our Indian economy. So we'll discuss about the 20-point program. Mill workers strike. It was a huge, what we can say, critical situation uh, for our country, or basically the people living in Mumbai. As we all know, Mumbai is famous for its mill, but now most of the mills are stopped or shifted to the different parts or different locations. Even as we know today, Surat is considered as the hub of the textile industry, but during the time of Britisher or after the independence, Mumbai was the head center of the textile mill. So what was that issue? What suddenly happened to this change? We will discuss in this topic. That is the mill workers issue. And next we have especially the new economy policy of 1991. We faced a very critical economic, what we can say, bad situation during the 1990s. So our country had been in a phase where we need to take loans by selling our gold, or even we mortgage some quantity of gold to the World Bank. How we came up, how our country managed to escape from the situation, and what are the planning done at that time, we will discuss on this topic. So overall we will discuss the five important points or topic in this chapter. They are the mixed economy, 5-year plans, nationalization of bank, 20-point program, and the workers issue, and the sixth one will be the new economy policy. So total we will discuss about the 6 points or 6 topic in this chapter. So let's begin with the mixed economy. What is a mixed economy? Mixed economy is the involvement of both socialist and capitalist. So basically what is capitalist? Where private individual getting more and more benefited, and when we say socialist, where government or the state getting more benefit. So in our country we made such a kind of economy that both should be in a balance. Brainstorming about the kind of economy we would adopt after independence started much before India got independence. What do you mean by brainstorming? Brainstorming means discussing in group or discussing with experts. As we already know, in 8th standard we had discussed, before India got independence we had started our planning that after independence how we will move forward, right? So at that time our leaders, our prime minister, they decided upon the mixed economy and what is the best situation for the Indians. Our Prime Minister Pandit Nehru adopted the middle path rather than taking recourse to any extreme. So our Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru took the middle path. He took that step that we should take the best thing from socialist and best thing from capitalist. So in this way we had a mixture of both, and that's why it is called as a mixed economy. And that is a good step, right? Because every country or every citizen have their different demands, different requirements. Some countries have adopted capitalism while some countries adopted socialism. In each type of economy had its own advantages. So every type of economy has its own advantages, right? Like America follows the capitalism, Russia follows the socialist system economy. So in this way they have their own advantages, own thinking, own what we call planning. In a capitalist system, the means of production, so you can see the difference. In the capitalist system, the means of production are privately owned. In a socialist economy, the means of production are owned by the state in the name of society. That's the difference. In mixed economy, a mixed economy works both in the private and the public sector. In modern India, we give preference to a model of mixed economy. We can see 3 parts in this kind of economy. So while making modern India after the independence, we preferred to accept the mixed economy in our country. So in mixed economy, we have 3 kinds of sector: public sector, private sector, and the joint sector. Public sector that run by government, private sector that run by the private individual, joint sector means that run by both government as well as the individual. So there are few different examples, like you said the railways, right? In our country railways are run only by the government, but now if you see the private companies also involved, like metros or in the bullet train planning, so they also got opportunity. Even we say the defense equipment are totally under the control of government. When we talk about the private industries, we have so many private industries that run by a private individual. Even you can see the hospitals in a joint sector. Hospitals are running by both government and the private individual. Even the schools are running by the government as well as the private individual. So these are the examples of joint sector. So we have the example of public sector, private sector, and the joint sector. Okay? Public sector. The industries in this sector are completely under the control and management of the government. For example, production of defense equipment. So in public sector, which are totally controlled by the government. Private sector, the industries in this sector are owned by private industries. So in private sector, the industries are owned by private individual, but government always keep a check that whether they are functioning properly or not, whether they are producing properly or not. So whether it is run by a private individual or a business family, but government always have a check or eye on the industry or some kind of any business. The industries in this sector are owned by private industrialists. Of course, the government supervises and controls them too. For example, consumer goods, the goods which we use, that's the consumer good. We are consumer. Joint sector. In this sector, some industries are owned by private industrialists, while some are run under the government management. Okay, so if we talk about the joint sector, in this sector, some industries are owned by private industrialists, while some are under the government management. So it's an involvement of both. For mixed economy to run smoothly, there need for coordination between the private sector and public sector. It is very much important to make mixed economy successful. There should be a coordination, there should be a collaboration of both private sector and पब्लिक सेक्टर. मिलके करना है ना, कोई भी काम मिलके करेंगे, एज अ टीम करेंगे तो वो बेहतर होगा. सेम follows to the mixed economy. This system aims at maximization of production and popular participation on a large scale. And in this system, we always try, or our government or the industrialists always try for a maximization of profit. Maximization means to increase the profit, so that it will helpful to the government also, for our country's economy also, and for the individual who are involved in that. An effort has been made in this system to bring together the good aspects of both the capitalist and socialist system. So always it has been tried that we or government or the authorized person, they should try to bring the good from both the sectors, from the socialist or the capitalist. Right? Why we need to take the negative thing? Take good things from different procedure or different kinds of sector, or you can say a system. So in this way, we followed the mixed economy, seeing the condition of country, seeing the requirement of the citizens, and how we can flourish in this situation. A mixed economy cannot ignore the profit motive entrepreneurship, discipline, time-bound planning, etc. So in mixed economy, we have this type of benefits like entrepreneurship. What is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship means ownership. Like even we are common people, we can start our business, or we can have some kind of startups, right? So we are the entrepreneur, we can be head of our organization. So in this way we are getting the chance. Even it is a disciplined way, because government put a checks on this, time bound planning. Then so these are the benefits of the mixed economy. A mixed economy also naturally tends to give priority to national interest. And as we all know, why we plan these things? Because we are more concerned about the national interest. Remember the chapter foreign policy, what we had learned? In foreign policy, we had learned our first aim, our first goal is national interest. Because we always think in that way that our country should move forward and development should reach at the higher level. So to bring country at that position, we plan in different fields, in different sector. So in the way that we plan for the foreign policy, in the same way we plan for the economic development. But our main aim is the national interest, the love for our nation, right? Long-term development is stressed upon with priority. The industries like defense, scientific research, education, roads, railways, waterways, seaport and airport development requires huge capital investment, but returns in these areas are delayed. So industries like defense, or you can say huge infrastructure, building roads, dam, airports, railway station, it requires huge investment. बहुत ज़्यादा पैसा लगता है ना, तो many times government not able to finance that project. So many times many private individual collaborate with the government, or because it's a huge investment and the returns are very slow, so private individual also completely not involved in it. So in this way, both government and private individual involved, and they will decide the functioning, and in this way they are involved in this kind of projects. We had seen so many examples, like in our country we have we have the world's largest statue, right? Statue of Unity. The Statue of Unity was a collaboration from the government and the private individual. Even we had an example of Sea Link, which we have in Mumbai, Bandra Worli Sea Link. It's a huge project. Even just we talk about the metros. In metros, the investment is huge. So government and private companies get involved in it. So these kind of things are beneficial in mixed economy. So not many private industrialists are keen to invest in this area. Keen means eager or interested, basically interested. In such a situation, the government has to take the initiative. So government should take the initiative in such kind of steps. Thus, India adopted the mixed economy model and 5-year plans and started off in its path of development. So in this way, India started the 5-year plans so that we should reach at that level and we should fulfill our needs. The industrial policy, there may be a kind of policy that made by the government that regarding to the industries in 1973 increase the speed of development. Priority was given in this policy to control the influence of heavy industries, industrial families and foreign industries and remove the imbalance in regional development. And we all know there is a difference in regional development. Many regions get developed fast or many regions are still underdeveloped. So government tries to bring development in every region by making or bringing any project. We had seen many times government brings any project to the rural areas so that people should get job opportunities. They should also get some kind of income earnings. The government focused on the development of small scale industries and cottage industry. What are small scale industry? The industries that are running on a small budget. The industries that are running on a small budget are called as a small industry, and we can say cottage industry. Cottage industry are those traditional industries which are not planned or organized. We had seen many people are making some kind of wooden articles or the plastic articles, or sometimes they view the clothes in their own home or even a small shop. Even we see the roadside areas when a potter sell their earthen pots or the clay materials. So these are the cottage industry, which doesn't require huge income or they are not organized or they are not the planned. So government also supports this kind of industry because it is a traditional industry and people earning from that. Now, it is a livelihood for many people, many society. Government also started paying more attention to the cooperative sector, and even government also trying to pay more attention to the cooperative sector. Again, what is the cooperative sector? The involvement of government and the private individual. Like we had an example of a dairy industry. We all know Amul, a very famous brand. It's a cooperative sector, and we have seen many cooperative banks also that run by the private individual with the involvement of government. So in this way, government tries to get improved our economic situation and economic conditions. Okay, understood? Let's move to the next topic, that is the 5-year plans. So government has fixed a certain time period for certain development, and in this way 5-year plans are carried out. The colonial power had exploited India economically. As we all know, colonial power means Britishers. They exploited India economically in every way. The country faced severe problem and during that time we faced the problem of poverty, unemployment, population growth, low standard of living. We know the meaning of low standard of living, like when we doesn't have the needs or we doesn't have the facilities to fulfill our needs or the demands. Low productivity of agriculture and industries, and backwardness in the fields of knowledge. Science and technology, planning was essential to solve this problem. So after independence, a planning commission has been set up to plan to solve these issues. India established the planning commission in 1950 with Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru as the chairman. So who led this committee? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And it was started in the year 1950. It is created, it's planned India's 5-year plans that included rural and agriculture development, balanced industrialization, there should be a balanced industries, provision for a minimum standard of living. Provision means a planning for at least every individual, every citizen should get a minimum standard of living, like health facility, education, housing, water supply, electricity. These are the minimum things that every individual should get. And economic development consistent with democratic ideals. It focused on people's participation and individual development in the formulation and implementation of the 5-year plan. And in this way, these 5-year plans are carried out. Fundamental principle of planning. What is fundamental? Fundamental means basic, necessary, which is very much important, which needs to be done. Right? So what was the fundamental planning? जो करना जरूरी है. A general principle of planning is the proportionate distribution of the resources of a country and the appropriate use of the human resource to fulfill the needs of the people. So it is very much important. Every country should know the resources and how to use that resource. Like in our country, we always say our population is the world's second largest population. So it should be an opportunity for us, na? We should utilize the human resource like other countries are doing. China, they having the huge population more than India, but yeah, they are using their population in different sectors in different fields. We should also plan accordingly. Next, goals or plans. What are goals? Objectives, aim. So there are 10 important plans had been given here that should be carried forward with the basis of our situation, our country's situation. The general goals of the economic planning of India are as follows. First, increase in the national income. It is very much important. If country grows, then we will grow. If nation's income will increase, then our income will increase. We will defeat poverty. We will defeat uneducation. We will defeat unemployment. Right? Bring about rapid industrialization by focusing on basic industry. What is rapid industrialization? Fast, speedy industrialization. Bring about an increase in agriculture production so that the country becomes self-sufficient in food grain production. We should be self-sufficient in terms of food grain production. We have a fertile lands, so we should give more focus to the agriculture so that we don't depend on other countries for the food grain requirement. Use the human resource. Planning. Many industries are many foreign industries are set up in India, so we should be capable to work on in these industries, right? Use the human resource in the country optimally. Optimally in a planned way, in a proper systematic way, right? So we should also look forward, na? Use the human resource in the country optimally by making increased employment opportunities available. Remove the inequality in earnings and wealth. Government should try to remove the inequality between the earnings and the wealth. Maintain stable price of commodities. What are commodities? Things of daily use, basic things. There should be some kind of stability on the price, right? Because it's our need use. Bring the growth in population under control by family planning. Government always creates awareness for the family planning. Improve the standard of living by eradicating poverty. What is eradicating? Removal. We should remove the poverty. If we remove the poverty, then only we can get a better living. Develop social services. These things also required, like proper health services, education, and make the economy self-sufficient. That is more important. Our country should have a proper economic system. If we are self-sufficient, then we can fulfill our demands. We no need to raise our hand in front of other countries, right? So these are the goals that needs to be followed by our authorities, and in this way we had started planning accordingly. And on this same platform, on the same manner, 5-year plans has been carried forward. Understood?